Good morning. If anybody's out there, I couldn't wait. I got on 3 minutes early. So when you come in, just say howdy. I can't see the YouTube screen, and I may not be able to read chat, but I'm going to give it the old college try.
I hear horses coming and my mind fills with fright. As 15 rusted warriors from charging in the fight, and a flash in the pan that's been long overdue. You won't be there at the spring rendezvous. There'll be lots of some, yeah, which we dream into, and this will rendezvous. There'll be lies telling some, yeah, which we're aiming to, and the story rendezvous.
Good God. Hang on a minute. Good God. Hang on a minute. Yeah, sorry about that, Kay. I'm trying to get rid of that. I don't know. I've never had that much problem before. I had music playing, and I think it overrode, and I think it's still playing. But can you hear me okay? Whoever's in here? And maybe that was just the whole problem. Maybe it was just feedback. I haven't got my. That doesn't usually bother me. Well, no, I don't usually have my phone hooked up. So that's probably a really good point. Yes, sir. Thank you. Good, Kay. I wasn't sure. This is a all brand new setup here, and not one I intend to stick with too long. But right now, it's all I got. And hopefully the connection will be good. Well, I don't know what I've got going on here, so I'm not even going to try to. I don't know if I can read the chat or not. Bear with me a minute, Kay. Anybody else comes in, say hi.
away on the hot plate.
Okay, well, I'm on if you want to.
Maybe you have it out there.
I do have one out there, but unless I took it out there, which I didn't think I did. I swear I had one in here too the other day, and I thought it was one of the white ones, but I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Anyway, Maple Bacon has arrived. Tina McNeil has arrived. Kay Atwood has arrived. I'm holding on. I'm hoping Mark arrives. We talked a 3 days ago or so, and I sent him the link, and I'm hoping he makes it in this morning. And you guys will have to tell me just how much noise or background racket or whatever's in here, because I can't tell much today. I don't have my usual setup. So Mike forgot to send me my celebratory donuts, Tina. Good morning, Carkey. Welcome in. It's so good to see everybody this morning. If you haven't figured it out by now, I'm sitting outside on my front porch in a rocking chair. I think we're going to call this, we may rename this the Highway 66 Retirement Home or something. That's not bad. Oh, well, Tina, there you go. That's Mike, our good friend Mike. Always eating the donuts before he gets home. You should buy a dozen for us, Mike, and a dozen for yourself. Say good morning to your lovely bride if she's awake.
Have you got my phone?
No, I don't have your phone. Get me to call it?
Yeah.
Everybody says hi, so if you want to say hi, now's a good time to do it.
Okay. Hi.
I don't know if I can hear you or not, but
Hi, everybody.
I'll call your phone. Go listen. This is what Tim and Brenda call the Tim and Brenda or T&B phone locator system. And if you hear that, it's because I'm using her tablet and I'm calling her and it's ringing in on her tablet.
Found it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
See, it works almost every time. C&T have one a lot like it do. Oh, so I'm not going to be able to, that's probably not something I'm going to be able to patent then, huh, Tina? I thought it was a pretty good idea, but if everybody else is already doing it. Good morning, Chuck, if you're there and can hear me. Let's see, I need to make some adjustments, I think, guys. Tell me if I'm too close. Whoa, covered the camera up there, didn't I? I'm not used to that. Too close, bad angle. Well, that's worse, isn't it? And that's too flat. So I guess back about where I had it's about as good as I'm going to get. How about the light? Is the light okay? This is all supplied by Mother Nature this morning. If we have any luck, we'll have music today. I've been sitting out here listening to the birds since I got out here this morning. And they've been quite vociferous. That's the real word. That might be one I made up or we made up at one time or another. But anyway, they're singing loud and proud. And I had a mockingbird here, and I posted a bit. That's my brother.
Look at there, sitting out on the rocking chair.
I'm sitting out in a rocking chair. I am. Hey, turn my volume up a little bit to make sure I can hear you. There, that might be better. Because if you can't tell already, I'm shooting off of the Tennessee Bear mobile unit.
I don't know what that is.
I know. Well, I was going to explain it.
Oh,
In this case, I have a mobile unit and a mini mobile unit, and then a sub mobile unit. This is actually the mini mobile unit. This is Brenda's Samsung tablet, and I'm sitting out on the front porch of the Highway 66 Retirement Center, and I'm watching birds feed in the yard and listening to a mockingbird serenade. And boy, was he singing every song in his book, his
repertoire.
Yeah, this morning.
that word, repertoire.
I was trying to get that out, but you beat me to the punch.
What's that flashing behind you? You got a fan going in the house?
Oh, well, no, actually, I got one going over my head. It's probably reflecting in that window.
Oh.
I think she might have one on in there, but porch has a couple of swing. I meant to turn it off, actually.
Is that hot?
No, I just forgot to turn it off. I turned them on the other day, and we haven't remembered to turn them off because there's a switch inside that does both of them. We've got two. Porch is full length to the front of the house, so there's two. This is a luxurious type rest center here. This is not your average, Tennessee. We don't have.
God's ceiling fan came on yesterday at our house, so
I saw that. That wasn't really expected, was it?
No, but certainly not unheard of.
No, certainly not. Well, and you need the moisture.
We weren't it wasn't forecasted, but it can happen. It can unleash at any time, July, August, it don't matter.
Hey, Chuck, good to see you, buddy. Good morning, Diana.
I don't see no human. There's everybody.
And now listen, Mike's already complaining about hot water in the shower. He's saying Diana might not have left him any hot water. So what do you think she is supposed to, Mike? If you don't get up and beat her to the shower, you got no right to, complain about hot water, buddy.
Get you a bigger hot water heater.
Yeah, or one of those continuous heating things like Kelly and Brad have. Apparently, it never runs out. And there's the one exotic. There went up Starling. A friend from one of our visitors from Europe, from England.
They've been here so long, buddy. We should just get over it.
Yeah, if we could get them all lined up to take their citizenship.
English sparrows too.
I know.
I tell my wife fairly regularly that I'm over hating English sparrows, and then the next day I'm back to hating them.
Well, I was going to bring that up, but
they're such a mess. They make such a mess.
Not to mention the fact that
they're kind of a nasty bird.
Not to mention that deep down inside, you really don't like them.
Yeah, right.
let's just be honest about it.
Bloody pommies.
Hey, Dave, Adventure Buddies in the house.
They build nests under my eaves and just fill that full of junk and
I bet they do.
Horsehair and hay and then the chicken house is full of their nests and their messes and it's just they're kind of, if they were a cleaner bird like a chickadee,
I
wouldn't hate them so much. Maybe.
Oh, hey, guess what else we got here? I thought it. Well, I'm not sure that he may be in the tree. I'm not. You can tell me. I can't remember how high they nest, but they got kingbirds in the yard,
Oh, cool.
or at least one. I mean, a pair, because I've seen him out here setting and running things off. I saw him chase a
I see
crow. I
the
think it was.
eastern kingbird.
Yeah, eastern kingbird. Kingbird. He. I looked at him and I thought, what is that? And at first I saw him from an angle and couldn't see him that good. And I thought, oh, I got some kind of barn swallows or something out here because I just looking at shape. But then I saw that stripedy tail and I knew it were a kingbird or that barn.
You
Yeah.
should have lots of
Do
swallows.
what?
You should have lots of swallows of some kind.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they're here because there's lots of barns and the lake's just over the ridge, but we may not see those guys. I used to love to sit at the lake. Sometimes we had a bunch of bank swallows, or well, I think they're different than true cliff swallows, but they would be out grabbing mud. They used holes in the bank, made holes in the bank. I'm pretty sure they're primary excavators in that regard, aren't they?
I don't know.
Anyway, we used to watch them. But may have been barn swallows doing this too. They would come down and grab mud off the edge of the lake and
Yeah, and
take
go
it up
back
and build
down.
their nest. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a lot of fun to watch them do that because they worked real hard gathering.
We've got cliffs and rough wings and barn swallows here at the house, but none of them are back yet. They're still south of us somewhere.
Well, we've got those three and a couple more, I think. Are yours Western versions or the same thing?
We have cave swallows too.
Yeah, and then there a tree swallow.
Oh yeah, and we have those too, but they don't nest here in the yard. They go up.
Oh,
They go up to the mountain, but we do see them here in the yard when they come home.
one small problem with this outdoor porch you set up today is my coffee is getting cold faster, so I don't have my heating plate. I don't have my hot plate out here, so I may be pouring less and drinking more.
I just love seeing you rocking.
Huh?
I just love seeing you rocking there. You look like you're enjoying yourself.
Well, I am, and honestly, I'm
You're
enjoying
gonna have
being
to get some bibs back on, buddy.
Brenda and I talked about that a little bit. I may have to do that. That's probably could become Saturday morning uniform around here.
You sit there in that rocking chair with bibs on and tell us tales.
And I could get me a good used wore out ball cap, something that's got a.
And you just look at home, bud. You just
Get
look
me
like you're at home.
Well, I feel at home. And honestly, we were driving out yesterday going to. We had to go back to Knoxville and go see doctors yesterday, which was a good thing actually. I had to go see my oncologist / hematologist yesterday, and he has decided that the way all my numbers look that I don't need to be down there so often, so he's only going to see me once a year.
Nice.
So that's nice. He said, most of your numbers look really good. And I thought, well, tell me that, I don't need to be here so often. That'd be a really good thing. And he did.
That is very cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I didn't come away feeling yesterday like it was just a matter of time,
Yeah.
like there was a ticking clock over my head or something. It was more like, yeah, you're probably going to be all right. And which I kept telling myself, but, you just never know about these things. And he said, well, now if you have some unusual pains and you feel like something's wrong, give me a call. And I said, hell, Doc, I feel unusual pains every day.
That's what I was just getting ready to say. Like,
which one you want to talk about?
I got these 3 ribs over here that I've had broken twice. And day before yesterday, they started hurting. out of, and I'm like, what did I do that I should be hurting like that?
Probably nothing.
I don't know.
You probably laid on a soft bed the wrong way or something.
Yeah.
Hey, hang on a minute, guys. I'm going to pull a mark and just turn you around here and let you see what I'm looking at. I just want to let you see the valley, or the.
No,
Can you see that?
It's gorgeous. Look at it. That's a holler.
Of course, as you can see, I'd call it a holler. It's not really a true valley, but we're in that ridge and valley country, more than we were.
Yeah. I'm
I mean, what I was going to say a minute ago before I got distracted by the good news yesterday was we were driving out, and I told Brenda, I said, you know what makes me feel really good around here, happy, and I said, it's all these old farmhouses and stuff out here. Yeah. I mean, right here around me, maybe not so much, but just, down the road, there's 2 or 3 big 2-story old that look like they've been here since Christ was a corporal. And, up the road's kind of the same way. I mean, there's just lots and lots of old buildings and stuff. And
my favorite Tim Pruitt saying.
Well, that just sort of came out.
That's my favorite Tim Pruitt saying. It's Christ is a corporal.
Maple Bacon wants to know if they can get their own view. Well, sure you can, Mike. When that mobile home.
Don't they have views in Manitoba?
Maybe they're not allowed. I love how there's room on my driveway. Oh, your driveway for my Airstream. Well, that's what I was just going to say, Mike. When we get this,
when you're wandering,
when I get this cargo unit out, that's still in the yard that we got to get moved. There's a great spot right there for your Airstream, buddy. And if need be, we'll even make it a little bigger. So anyway, this is the new Pruitt Manse. I would take you in the house. Brenda made me swear I wouldn't give you an inside tour yet. Needless to say, it still needs some of that loving touch. Let's just say we're still unloading boxes. I don't know if we'll ever get finished or not.
Unpacking touch.
Yeah.
Get them children back out there and have them take that box to the basement and take that box to the basement.
Listen here a minute. Can you hear him?
Sounds like you got young birds. I hear the mockingbird.
That's a mockingbird, yeah. He's going through his whole repertoire, as I said earlier. Hear him? I love that.
It's beautiful, man.
He sat here a while ago and imitated every bird in the holler. I mean, he even made a starling noise. You know how they make that little sort of a trill when they fly or jump up? He was even doing that. Had a little Cockney accent.
There was a tufted titmouse. Peter.
He's busy. I think they're nesting in the bush right in the front, right down across from me, about 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock in front of me. That's by the power pole there. I've seen one or it go in and out there a couple of times this morning already. So
Tina said she'd been in her house 23 years and still hadn't unpacked the boxes.
Oh, Tina, don't tell me that. That's not. No, give me some encouragement there, Tina. I don't need to, because unfortunately, we lived in our last house that long, and I didn't get everything unpacked either. But I
Well,
tried.
I know people that say if they don't touch the box after a certain number of decades or whatever, they just throw it away. And I just can't even imagine.
Oh, see that. That's just one of the things we're like. I can't make myself just do that.
You might have pictures of your great granddaddy or something in it,
Yeah,
I'm not
you just never know.
willing to do that.
We're just saying something about Tina. Understand we were that way before, but don't want it to be that way now. We're trying to get. There is some stuff that went to the basement, Christmas decorations and some extra. Some of her material is down there right now because we got to get her shelves back up in her sewing room. Once that's done, and a lot of that'll come back up.
So
I'll
where's
probably
that from where you're sitting?
Well, from where I'm sitting, you go in this front door here.
Yeah.
And turn left, go down across the living room and down one step to the hallway. And she's the first door on the right. And so it's not that far. And of course, this is the kitchen right behind me.
Got good light in that room, I assume.
Yeah, in her room, yeah. And although she mentioned yesterday that it's the only room in this house, including the porch. Hers the only room in this house that doesn't have a ceiling fan. So guess what? I'm going to probably have to get somebody to do for long. Put up a ceiling fan.
Yeah.
She complained about that forever, and I bought her one and got to where I couldn't get it up on. Couldn't really get up on the ladder and put it up well. So Brad did, or no, Charlie did for us, the handyman, and. She was finally happy, and now here we are in that situation again.
So you got AC in that place?
Oh yeah, God, you can't. I mean, I don't think I could live back here anymore without it.
Well,
You know what it's like. You go to Ohio a couple of times a year.
Used to.
Yeah, well, I used to do a lot of things.
They don't have no AC neither. Actually, I think they do have.
Oh, do they?
On their heat unit. They've also.
Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? I think that's right. I think we talked about that.
It switches over to AC and.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how they stand talking. They're truly in awe.
It was God forsaken the last week I was back there. I can tell you that. Wet and clammy, and
yeah,
I just sat there at the kitchen table sweating. I hate sweating when I ain't doing anything.
Yeah, well, you sweat when you're just sitting doing anything here if it's hot, and then if you actually get out and do something, you perspire prolifically.
And I'm sure, I'm sure I sweat here, but as soon as it pops out of my hide, it's gone.
But that makes you feel cooler, though. So back here, you just boil in
it. You're just simmering in it all day long.
All day long. I come home from work and my pants and clothes will just be soaked through. Hey, John, welcome in, buddy.
I hope you're catching some fish, John.
John and Miss Holly had either just had or are having a wedding anniversary. Congratulations, John. I believe it was 25 years.
Yeah, congrats.
It's today. After I said it, I thought it was today. I didn't want to, I hate to tell somebody the wrong date. Oh, 28. Oh, hell, even better. Oh, there I went again, didn't I? What in the world?
Mike, John's secret is to fish a lot.
That's the problem, Mike. You live up there where you can't afford to get outside. I mean, not can't afford you. It's too cold all the time. So you're in the house too much, buddy. You need to go ice fishing.
You probably got giant northern pike all over that country.
Oh, I bet. Oh man, that brings back memories.
Oh, don't it now?
Northern pipe about as long as your arm, it just bends your tip of your rod over to your fingertips. Oh man, I'll never forget that. What a hoot.
Yeah,
We probably left. We
that
probably left about. Go ahead.
I said that wasn't nothing but a good time.
That's right. Then we probably lost about $100 worth of steel leaders up there.
Yeah.
but when they didn't wrap us around the big log, we were in good shape.
I still remember humping a canoe over my head down the trail and rough grouse just drumming right beside the trail. And
Oh yeah, right. Just standing there like we wasn't nobody.
They didn't even stop. And I'm carrying a 17-foot aluminum canoe, banging trees.
John just told Mike that the secret is she shops and I fish. Mike says he sent me a couple days a link to the hobby farm. Oh, okay, Mike. I thought okay. I'm gonna be honest, buddy. I haven't been my internet is actually good in the house, unfortunately, and this will be the official update. Big porch howdy wave for the neighbors there. Yes, they're heading out to the store. Run and get supplies. They got a nice team of horses. Couple of match blacks. Oh, he ain't from the Billy Carter school of where you throw your beer cans though. Billy Carter says you throw them out in the ditch. Other people, Mark's left. Other people throw them in the back of their pickup truck. He threw that in the back of his pickup truck. Actually, don't think it was beer, but who knows? Yeah, Brenda figured out yesterday that we have been more or less together for 53 years now. So, some high school sweetheart marriages kind of thing do stick together like glue. And I am drinking out of a Mickey Mouse cup this morning. I don't remember what year I got that one. Boy, it sure is dirty right at the moment. Anyway, oh, wait a minute. When Mark comes back, he's probably yelling at dogs. That pup of his has gotten bad about chasing the ponies. Well, actually, he said her and Hank both have. If they get bored with the chickens, I guess they decide let's go herd the ponies up in a corner. I'll be back in a bit. Oh, tell Dad we said hey, John. There he is.
Sorry, yelling at
what?
Yelling at creatures.
That's what I just told him. You were probably yelling at dogs or something. Because they've been chasing the ponies a lot lately.
Yeah, everybody's all. Well, I got the horses all gathered up in the alfalfa pasture because the water gap blew out. When the ice went out, it went down. And Sammy and I put it back up. And then they opened up the floodgates and the river's running high and the snow's melting up country. And yeah. Hey, and we've got 2 bears within 15 miles of the house right now.
Oh yeah, talk about that. They've got They got big bears, not my kind of bears back here. They got big bears, great big brindle colored ones, or at least brown.
Yeah, my buddy, the sheriff's deputy, come around the corner up at the reservoir that I fish all the time. And right there sitting on the pavement was a great big old male grizzly. And then there's another one over by where we punch cows that's hanging out over there. I just hope they keep their noses clean. They'll be fine if they don't.
Yeah, I hope so.
Kill somebody's cattle or sheep or something. So
yeah, that'll start the ball rolling. Unfortunately,
that gets them dead. Unfortunately.
Yeah. You guys ever have any wolves wander down your way?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're down here all the time.
And a few cats from time to time.
And cats. We've always had cats, but the big bears and the wolves have been here a while now, a couple decades. But the big bears just started showing up kind of in force within the last 5 years or so, and to where we see them, fairly regularly. Sam ran up that road that our deputy photographed that bear on, and up above where he took the photos, the road turns to dirt, and Sam got some great track shots.
Oh, cool. Pretty good sized bear?
Yeah.
Or is this the one you were talking about?
He's a boomer.
Oh, wow. That's my problem. I'm a boomer too, and I'm a great big bear. I'm too big. A little too big. But we're working on that. That's a whole nother story.
I don't know if you can see these or not, but
oh yeah, I see them. Front and rear paws, guys. That's the front track and the back track. And you look how much it looks like a human footprint.
Right there.
Yeah, that bottom one.
And there's great big old claw points out there about 3 inches.
Yeah. I said, well, it's better to grab you with. Grandma, those are mighty big claws you got there. All the better to hug you with, darling.
You can dig a marmot out of the rocks or whatever.
Yeah. Tina said, grizzly. What if I do this? What happens? Hey, it works. Hopefully find enough fun to get into without messing with people. Yeah. Unfortunately, like he said, if they decide they want a quick snack and eat a cow or kill a cow or a bunch of sheep, or that'll get them probably killed. So,
well, and when they get in bands of sheep, they don't just kill one.
Yeah, I didn't know that till you told me that. I didn't realize they did that.
Kind of like lose their cool and go on a berserker deal and just, whoa, we got great big.
We got great big. I don't know if that's good or bad.
But yeah,
can't see us, man.
We had one bear that got into a band of sheep and killed like 150 in one night.
Jiminy, Chris. You'd think they'd run away.
Well, they're sheep.
They're stupid, I know. But you'd think even sheep would know better.
They do run, but they're just running around a circle. And
well, you know what they remind me of?
These things are really easy to catch compared to an elk calf or a moose calf or something. These things are easy.
Yeah, and they're soft and fluffy. You know what? They kind of remind me of a school of fish that shark or whales ball up, and they get in the ball and they just sit there and spin. Yeah. Sheep kind of do that. I've seen them do that.
Dolphins and mullet.
Dolphins do it. I've seen them. I've seen dolphins run a ball, water fish, not a ball, but small schools of fish up onto the shoreline and eat them too. They'll just slide. Dolphins will. Yeah, they'll get up on the dirt part way and hopefully not get stuck. But they'll catch the fish that way. It's cool to watch. I mean, they're smart critters. I was going to, oh, I know what else I was going to give you an update on the true internet. What's going to happen here this week? I think on Wednesday. Now it's supposed to be Tuesday, but they called and changed it. On Wednesday, I'm going to get a dedicated line put into what I'm now referring to as the library. That could be subject to change, but that's probably what it's going to be called. Because Brenda has been slapping me because I keep thinking going outside. I keep thinking garage for some reason. Now that I'm here, I never called it a garage before we moved, and now
you called it schoolhouse.
I called it school. Well, I kind of like the schoolhouse idea. Brenda thought the library was better, and that's probably what's wrong now. My inner child's probably fighting for the school. Probably still fighting for the schoolhouse. But anyway, I'm going to have a dedicated high-speed fiber optic line run out to that building, and I should have some hot damn internet service once I do that. And
now, does it have a front porch on it too?
No, well, it's just a small stoop. It's got, there's like 4 steps up, and then I don't know.
Because I would recommend that occasionally you just go ahead and burn them from where you're at right now.
Go ahead and do what now? Wait a minute.
Go ahead and run your show from where you're at right now.
Oh, well, I could. Yeah, this is not a bad lick. I'll probably do this some more. But you also got to remember, in a couple of weeks, it's going to be miserable hot. And I probably won't do it from here. But I will do it from here more.
Do you have air out there?
Huh?
Does that building have air in it?
Yes and no. I brought my own air. I had a portable air unit in my basement, in my garage, true garage down at the other place. It's a heater air conditioner, and I've got to plumb it in. I mean, it's ready to go right now, and I got the adapters to hook it up to the wall or run it out the window. But I need to drill a hole, I think, and to put the drain line in and let it drip out, because it tends to make a bit of water and take a leak once in a while on my floor.
Yeah.
If I don't do that. So what did Brenda say? You can call it whatever you want, dear, as long as you stay out there. She's so funny. And that's why we've been together 53 years. Condensation line drain. Oh, that's right, Mike. Thank you for the technical backup there, buddy. So I got to get the condensation line drain put in, and then I'll be ready to go.
We have a little AC, a couple little AC units we run here in the house in the summer. And our first 3 years out here, we didn't have to. But boy, last year we sure did. And
yeah, you guys had some hot weather.
But it makes quite a little bit of condensation. But I bet
not a lot. I bet not like it does back here though, because you guys don't have any in the air.
Nothing like that.
Yeah, you got that dry heat.
but every now and again I have to it stops producing cool like it should, and I have to clean all that out.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna hook that up, and if that's too much of a hassle, I'll just buy you can buy a small window unit AC units around here for not a whole lot of money usually, so
yeah,
I might do that. So anyway, that's what's going to happen out there, and I'll have my and you brought up a really good point, butterflies instead of squirrels. About that porch, I got to change. We're changing. My son-in-law is hopefully pretty soon going to be able to come up here, because I've got to put some handrails on, two or three of our steps, and I've got to add a couple of steps in places that I can't hardly get up and down. I mean, there's a couple of steps here. They're like half a step and a half high, and not wide, not that part, but I mean, they're just a tall step for me to get my stupid leg up. And so we're going to fix that, and then out at the schoolhouse, the library unit, we're going to put in a ramp, I think, so I can get in and out of bed a lot easier. Now, that's a really good idea, though. I might put a front porch up there with a rock, so I can put a rocking chair on it or something, or just sit out on the porch with you know what I need? I need me one of them rendezvous chairs. Sit out there on that. One of them high back ones. That.
You're that you're riding right now suits you.
Yeah, well, I like that. I think it suits me. We got. I don't know if you saw it when I scanned around, but we also have a porch swing, just right over there, and that's a enjoyable thing too. But Brenda and I both grew up with grandparents, at least, that had porch swings and stuff, and so when I was a yonker, I had a lot of fun with a porch swing. We did some things, I'm not sure why we did them, but we did them and probably had a grand old time doing it. And we used to take the chains and pull them up as high as we could get them and clip them on up top. And then we'd just be able to swing about this much because we'd be hitting the ceiling. But we'd climb our way up there, because climbing was one of our specialties back then.
Major pastimes.
Yeah, and one of our major pastimes, exactly. Recreational tree climbing is a thing that needs to come back in society. I'm afraid that's another one of those things people are losing out on. I need to write that down, recreational tree climbing. Don't let me forget that. I need to put that, maybe I can put that in my phone while we sit here. Recreational tree climbing.
Well, that was like, I worked with a biologist in Arizona that he come up to me one day and we were waxing nostalgia. And he said,
yeah.
And he said, "Do you remember getting the wind knocked out of you?" And I said, "It seemed like it happened at least once a day. Something, I fell out of a tree or I got bucked off a horse or something. It just seemed like getting the wind knocked out of you was just a common event." And he said, "I have two teenage sons, and neither one of them has ever had the wind knocked out of them."
They must not do anything but play video.
I was like, they ain't living right, man.
Something's wrong. Oh, hell. Hang on. Lost childhood specialty.
Recreational tree climbing.
I put into my notes here, recreational tree climbing is about to be a lost childhood specialty. And unfortunately, there's a lot of those. I mean,
we used to skin cats, we called it.
Yeah, all the time.
You climbed up hickory, little small diameter hickory trees, 6 or 8 inches, and you climbed clear to the top, and then it'd bend to the next one. And you'd slide over to the next tree, and you could slide over to the next one, and you could go for hundreds of yards like that.
Sometimes, yeah. Ride it over.
Done, I mean, we were probably clothed in jean shorts and nothing else. And by the time you were done, you had all the hide wore off your belly and all the hide wore off your thighs.
Yeah, but you didn't notice that till your mom made you get in the tub.
Yeah.
And you started watching them places. Then
she got out the methylate.
You know what? I believe that stuff was just invented for people like you and I to be taught lessons. You think?
I don't think it had any medicinal value whatsoever. But it
It sure made you think twice when you were doing something that skinned the hide off your leg, your knees, or your elbows, or your
Plus,
whole frontal area.
plus it dyed your hide orange, and
Yeah, and kind of smelled bad. It
uh,
had its own unique smell.
my grandmother thought it was a cure all. You could whatever ailed you.
Yeah,
Let's,
paint that
let's
stuff
get
on there.
she called it methylate. Let's get
Yeah,
the
methylate.
methylate out.
That's that. I don't. Did they find out that was harmful to children? Because I don't see that anymore.
I don't see it ever on a shelf or nothing. So
I'm sure.
it's probably one of those things that they say will give cancer to a rock.
Well, either that or it's just cruel and unusual punishment for your children. You probably can't do it anymore.
They used to
I
just
know one thing.
pour like rubbing alcohol and stuff, and
Talk about squalling, buddy. You're gonna it's gonna sound like a caterwauling. I know I've had that put on me, and I just be standing there going, "No, hell no!" I just, it was probably everything I could do not to just string out a line of profanity that would have burned the mirror off the wall.
My grandfather always said, if it wasn't burning, it wasn't doing nothing.
Yeah, I heard that too. If it ain't hurting you, son, it ain't helping any. I don't know who came up with that idea. Some great grandmother from far, far away decided that, caveman's boy slid down the hill and skinned his knees, and Mama put catamount urine on it or something, and it burned like hell. And she said, "Ugh, boy, if it didn't hurt, it wouldn't be helping you any. Just remember that." And the cats will stay away from you.
The part that helped was that you didn't do that no more.
Yeah,
I don't remember those lessons ever sinking in. So,
well, I was going to say that because apparently we forgot quickly. I used to think that when you were younger, you had the longer memories, but there's some memories that you just don't stick around and they bounce out and gone. That's why they have to do it so often. You don't remember last time, do you? Swap, swap. As they spread that stuff on your scar. Oh God, I hauled hay. I used to haul hay, in the summer and stuff, and earn a couple bucks for helping somebody haul hay. Or we had 2 or 3 of us would go out and just pick up little jobs like that in the summer. And I'll never forget one time, and I'd hauled hay before. This wasn't my first rodeo, but I plumb didn't even think about it. And I went out there and it was hot, and I had on a pair of blue jean cutoff shorts and tennis shoes and no shirt. Because I was a strapping young man back then, mind you, and didn't pay much attention to it. And when I got home that evening, I stepped in the tub or in the shower or did something, and I thought I was going to go straight through the ceiling. Because the whole front side of me, my thigh, from my knees up to from my knees up to about here, was just one big raw
scratch
from all that hay all day long. And when I was doing it and sweating it, I didn't even notice it. But boy, I noticed it when I got home. That was the one and only time I ever did that. Now that one did stick.
That's they always called us country bumpkins hayseeds.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that.
Good point.
Because we spent all summer covered in it.
Yeah, yeah, true.
There ain't nothing like hayseed all over you when you're like soaked in sweat and
oh,
and then you like maybe get just a little break and all that dries on you.
And then it itches everywhere. When it gets down in your clothes, it itches.
I always wore bib overalls and no shirt. And
Well, that's better than that's better
by
than
the
the
end
other.
of the day, you had so much hayseed down inside your bibs, it wasn't even funny. And
Of course, you could shake it out a little bit easier. It's raining. I don't know. That's why my finger went up like this, but now it's quit again. Well, it just kind of washed through. I didn't even realize it. It just started and then stopped. It's just moving up the valley.
well, we are bright and bluebirdy today.
Oh, I was hoping we would be, but
It was snowy yesterday morning, and it stayed on. We got about 1.5 inches, and then it was gone by 2 o'clock probably, and it's just as bright and bluebird sky as you could imagine right now. I mean,
huh?
what are you seeing in the distance?
Well, I think they're just house. I think they're just house sparrows, but English sparrows. But I can't see them that well from here. The glare and no binoculars. But I swear I thought they came out of a. It looked like they were. I know they don't nest in cavities, do they?
Oh yeah, they do.
Well, maybe that's what they're on my telephone on that electric pole right there.
They steal everybody else's cavities and
Well, that's Well, they wouldn't.
full of junk and.
Well, they wouldn't be honorable enough just to make their own. They got bound to steal it from somebody.
Tina said you need some knocklers.
I do. You know what? They're right inside the house, and I didn't bring them out. Tina said I used to climb trees too. I fell out of one and sprained my ankle. My mom said to stay out of trees. Well, that's because moms don't understand, though. You know, my mom said, and my dad said it's supposed to burn. It is. Yep, it's cruel, so kids can't get the lesson. Yeah, that's why they're so pitiful when they get older, so pathetic, and need help so much because they hadn't had methylate poured all over them when they were yonkers. Brenda says we have binoculars everywhere except out here right now. It's I was really hoping it would be sunny though today. It cleared up yesterday afternoon. I don't think it rained on our way home at all. And it actually we had some blue sky for a while. And but so I thought it would be today, but it is not. What that is, I can't see. I thought it was my kingbird, but I can't see its tail feathers. And it'd probably help if I took off my close range eyeglasses. That reminded me of something else I was gonna say, and I don't remember what it was.
Mockingbird's still going at it.
Yeah, he's right there on the wire.
Okay, right back. Gotta go yell at creatures again.
All right. Is that better or worse? I guess it's okay the way it was, though. You guys said earlier. Oop, not that. Is that down too far? Yeah, that's too far. Have this kind of neat book stand. Okay, why did that happen? What happened? There we are. Somehow I lost the screen. Well, I guess that is where it was. That's better. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but there's some traffic on this road, mostly pickup trucks and trucks hauling tractors and occasionally a truck hauling a boat. We're not very far from the lake here. It's technically right over to our kind of southwest a little bit. There's right over the next ridge or two here. Wow, speaking of that, the ridges are disappearing. That dropped right down. Visibility did. Anyway, the lake, there's this because of the way this country's made, when you dam up water, it runs way up in valleys and hollers, and and old creek beds, till it gets to the elevation the lake's going to form. And so a lot of these little valleys are hooked to the lake down here, and we're on near Cherokee Lake in Tennessee, not on Cherokee Lake, but very near it. And the main body of the lake's just, 5 or 6 miles from here at most. Probably not even that. And so we have a fair number of people driving by, going fishing and stuff like that. Brendan and I need to get down there. I'm gonna get back to where I wish we had a boat again, probably. But I have to avoid that temptation. That might not be a temptation I want to give in to.
Yeah, that's just what you need, another boat.
Yeah, that's what I need. A hole to put money in, hole in the water to throw money in.
Well, you still got a canoe?
No, I let it go a few years ago because I didn't have any place to keep it. And when I did finally get a place where I could have kept it, I'd let Dad. Somebody got it, and I gave it away, but it's gone. But I'd get another one. But if I thought I could get in it and paddle myself around, I could paddle around, but getting in and out of it might be more tricksy. Now it's raining.
Gets more tricksy every year.
Every year, dang it! The visibility. The visibility has dropped down. I can't hardly see the ridge over there now. It's
so it's socking in, huh?
Socking in. I need to check with Ray Hall, y'all, and see what he says about that. If it's going to stay this way, it's probably going to rain. We're kind of in that time of year anyway, so those spring showers bringing July, as you said, July flowers.
Your bride said you can get her a kayak.
Could I? You think that'd be a good idea, do you?
They're fun to get in and out of.
Yeah, nothing like that. Especially
they were fun to get in and out of when I was 20.
It would be fun, I'll admit, but
I have a fishing kayak that's a big open deck, kind of it's a tandem rig, 2 people, and it's got seats in it that are, elevated. And
can you hear it now?
Is it raining?
Pretty good. Yeah, it started raining harder.
Is it thundering?
Not yet. But it might. It sure looks like it. Well, I don't know. It doesn't look like that kind of day, though.
Diane, they've had rainy, gloomy weather for 2 weeks.
Oh, that's pleasant. But if you can't,
hated that.
Oh, I know.
One of those spells.
Well, I'm afraid that this one may not be much better next week. Yes, ma'am. Looky here, who joined us through the kitchen window.
Holy bucket, she is. She does exist.
What was that hee-haw skit they used to do where they put grandpa or somebody push up the window and they'd talk about what was for breakfast, sausages and gravy and bit.
Oh, what's for breakfast?
Yeah, that's it.
Gonna be scrambled.
Possum gizzards and
yeah. Possum gizzards and frog's feet, and man, that's something I'd like to have, is a mess of frog legs.
I'm just hanging out.
Okay, well, you hang out there. I can adjust this so people.
You have ponds right there by the place. I've seen them.
I'm going to have. Yeah, and there's some beautiful wetlands just up the road here a little bit.
Yeah.
To the west. Oh my God! I told Brenda yesterday when we were going out. I said I really need to find out who owns this land, because I'd love to be able to tromp around in that wetland, because it's, of course, just flooded creek bottoms, but I bet that thing is full of frogs. if it holds water, long enough in the summer, which it looks like it does.
And wood ducks
And wood ducks. So, and there's a couple. There are ponds.
Water snakes.
Water snakes. Bodies. I was going to tell you something else. Whoa, where'd you go? Can you guys? Well, hang on.
You froze. I don't know if I'm still on here, but Tim and Brenda are obviously frozen.
There. Everybody see us now?
Maybe when it rains back there, you don't get no interweb.
No, I don't think so. Well, I'll be better. Yeah, we can hear the rain on the tin roof out here. Inside it's not, it must be insulated. Well, I don't know. We hadn't had a hard rain on it though, have we? Can you hear it in there pretty good or just out here?
So
I love you.
What color are the blades of that fan behind Brenda's shoulder?
Brown, she said.
Because from this angle, they look orange and look like almost like flames.
Oh, they do, don't they?
Like there's flames licking. She's licking fire, chaps.
If you see this picture right here.
How's my hair?
There's the fan looks kind of like a flame. It's orange, yellowish looking, and it almost looks like a flame licking up. When you had the window closed, I couldn't see it that well. Why are you going to close the window? Bye, she said.
Bye, Sickle.
Tina said we had gorgeous weather during the week, and then it's gloomy on the weekends. Oh, I hate when it does that down here, Tina. It'll get in that cycle. It's like a cycle. And it'll be gorgeous all work week, while you can't get out. And then
cycle.
Do what?
It's like an evil cycle.
Oh, absolutely. And then it'll rain all weekend.
Like we'll be nice all through the work week, and then when you get to go fishing, it's gonna pour the rain.
Yeah. Carol said they've been horrible. Walter's digging up my flower beds, and my yard is a mud pit. Can't keep up with the cleaning inside. Ooh. Mike, I'd beware if I was you. Don't come in with dirty feet, buddy.
My wife hates mud. And of course, we got a fair bit of it. And
yeah, well,
this time of year especially, and we got horses and dogs that track stuff in and out of the house, and I'm like, I think you should just embrace the suck. And
for those of you who may not know that term, basically that means you might as well suck it up or grin and bear it because it ain't going away.
It's about bullet holes in your body, but
yeah, but as a general term,
you just like suck it up and
keep going.
You might as well get along with it because it's going to happen.
Yeah. I guess that came out of the sand pit. I don't remember that or sandbox. I don't remember that.
The boys invented that one in the sandbox.
I don't remember that one from previous conflict.
No. But it's my vet that was our first successful vet that he was in a bad place, and we have nurtured him for years now, and he's doing great. He's got a son, and they had their first camp out last night, and I had given him a buffalo robe, and that boy rolled up in that buffalo robe and went and slept in his tent last night.
Where is he, out in your yard?
Huh?
Or is he on your property?
No,
Oh,
he's at his home.
oh, okay.
But they set a tent up out in the backyard, and he had, he's like 4 years old now, and
Oh, okay.
he had his first camp out.
A good deal.
And he slept in a buffalo hide.
That's not. Ain't many kids can say that.
Nope. No.
I can probably say I've slept on one, or at least half of one.
His mama is big into glamping.
Oh yeah, I know what that is.
Whatever the hell that is, but
Oh, that's luxury camping, buddy. Soft beds and nice.
She's into that, and of course, John spent a gazillion hours sleeping on the ground in the Korengal Valley in Afghanistan, and his son's going to know how to camp for real.
Well, what Brenda
Grandpa Marco is sure that he can. He knows how to camp.
Brenda's hoping the rain stops, but what she meant to say by this evening, so the dirt will be a little softer for her to plant things in. She's already late. I mean, if I was a fit human, she'd have me out. I know where I'd be spending my days, out in the yard, digging holes and planting stuff. She's got plants, several different varieties of things sitting here in front of me, most of which I couldn't tell you what they were. Maybe none of them. I know what those are, but I can't think of the name of them. This thing she's got right here, it says it's a climbing beauty. It reminds.
Hold on, you can't walk on your laugh like that. You know what those things are, but you can't think of the name of them.
Well, yeah, you know how that works.
Then you don't know what those things are.
Well, I'm sure that if I was reminded, it would click. But she's got this thing called a climbing beauty that almost looks like one of those flowers that grow out. They got the seed pods on them. Maybe gypsum plant, but what do they call that?
That's not gypsum.
No, this is not gypsum, but what's the plant? What is it? It grows around here, and it looks a lot like that flower. Not. I
don't see the flower, so I don't know what you're talking.
Well, hang on a minute. Can you see that big flower there, the purple one? Well, I can't.
I see.
Right.
I see a big white one.
Well, it's not really white; it's purplish. But on your end, it may very well look white. But anyway, that's the one I'm talking about. It looks like not passion flower. What the hell do we call that thing?
I don't know.
I don't either. But it sure does look like that.
Well, my bride and my daughter have planted a gazillion plants, peas, and they're all vegetable. Well, she planted. I think she planted a bunch of wildflowers too, but they're inside in the laundry room where there's lots of light.
Right.
And they are going like gangbusters, except for the peppers. And I don't understand. Like last year, we had 1 million pepper plants, and this year they're just not coming up. I don't know what's going on with them. If their feet are too wet or they're not germinating. It was just a bad batch of seed, but they have a bunch of peas, which I'm not a fan of, but boy, they really came up.
You know, I like peas. Well, in fact, I've been known to just open up a can of canned peas. And Brenda sometimes buys them for me because I'll open up a can of peas and pour them in a little bowl and heat them up in the microwave for a minute or two. And then I'll just sit and eat them for a snack. But I like garden peas. But, you know, anytime we planted garden, our peas just never did do much. Here, I mean, Brenda and I, Mom and Dad used to grow them, and we'd usually get several messes and have them. Mom used to we'd have peas, and sometimes we'd have cream peas. And
we had a giant garden when I was a kid, and it was my responsibility to deal with it. And the only person that ever swung a hoe in that garden was me.
Well, that's why they have kids, you know.
And all my toes had scars on the ends of them from hoe bites, and because you sharpened your hoe in those days, you didn't have a dull hoe, you had a sharp hoe, and the peas and the green beans in particular did wonderful under my care. I didn't like either one of them.
That's the price you paid for.
And every now and again, just out of spite, my hoe would slip just a little. Whoops. Whoops, that pea plant's gone.
Oops. And then you'd go down another one or two, and it'd slip, and it would take your toe off.
And it's like hit me in the end of the big toe and give me another scar.
Because that's karma, or just what we used to call.
We always had great potatoes, and we grow potatoes out here. We did last year, and they did pretty well. I built some inside raised beds in the
greenhouse.
Yeah, and railroad tie kind of beds inside the greenhouse, and I planted a bunch of potatoes in there, and the voles or something got in there, and those suckers ate almost every potato. They ate at least half of it.
Oh wow.
I had a bunch of potatoes growing outside, and they didn't bother one of them. So I'll probably planting potatoes outside this year, but ever it warms up enough to plant potatoes.
If you watch the Never Cry Wolf movie, you can eat those little critters.
Yeah, I've seen beakers of them, full of them, with the hair still on.
Yeah. You could set up a trap line. I'd have for as much call for bull fur, but you never know.
Well, and that's what Sitting Bull and his folks ended up eating when they went to Canada.
Oh, really?
And they were sharing some country with some river crows. And they killed all the bison off pretty quickly because there weren't many left.
There wasn't any left, yeah.
And they ended up like catching bowls and things inside the teepees and feeding on those, and that's why he had to go back. That's why they went back to America, went back to Standing Rock, and
came back down.
Yeah.
Carol said, Mark, Carol said that chopping the end of your toe off was what she referred to as a self-punishing crime. Yeah.
Well, it happened pretty regular. So
my folks had pretty good. We had pretty good sized gardens growing up every summer that I remember. But when I left, Brenda and I were living in Nashville, and probably right up till we came up here, they were still tending the garden down at what was my granddad's property or grandparents' property, and they had a big sort of a communal family garden down there that they still took care of and shared stuff out of it. My Uncle Alan and my Aunt Molly and Brenda, or Mom, Dad. The two biggest things they usually raised out of it was green beans and corn, and then potatoes probably came next. I used to dig potatoes for hours and hours and hours when they come due, because we had to get, we were tater eaters, so we had to get our potatoes in. But the and there, there's nothing to me. There's nothing better, and nothing tastes. And this really just hit me what this means. Nothing tasted like summer to me more than fresh green beans out of the garden and those little red new potatoes cooked together with some ham hock or something in them to give them just a little flavor. And oh God, I used to love those, that meal, all mixed together, Oh, the little tiny petunias. That's what the word I was trying to come up with too, was petunia. See, I did know, I just forgot. I know a lot of stuff, but I forgot. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Wasn't that Porky Pig's girlfriend's name?
Petunia, yeah, Petunia Pig. I forgot about her. Yeah, but that's all, folks. Wasn't that Porky? That was Porky.
Yeah.
He'd come out and end the cartoon and get that. That's all, folks.
Bacon fat, beans and potatoes.
Bacon, yeah. Man, oh man, you're making me hungry. We might have to go down to Clifford's a farmer's market. Well, it's a little early yet, though. They won't have. We're looking for. Hey, I'll tell you something. There's a sparrow right there in front of me.
In 2 weeks, you'll have new potatoes available.
I got birds right in front of me on my porch here.
What are they?
One of them finches, or sparrows rather. At least one of them. At least one of them was. The other one, I'm not sure. The other one might have been a chickadee. He was on the bird feeder. I couldn't see him real good. But the one landed on the railing here around the porch, that was definitely a burner. I'm not sat here. If I live long enough, maybe I'll sit here long enough that the birds will come up and eat off the tray or something. You could get real used to this if the weather was right.
I go out in the wintertime when the chickadees and the rosy finches and things are here.
Yeah.
And they'll land right in my hand. I can
really?
Put feed in my hand and just set it by the bird feeder, and they'll just
cool.
They'll just come land right in my hand. Especially those little mountain chickadees.
Oh, yeah?
Right now, all we've got are English sparrows, collared doves, red-winged blackbirds, and yellow-headed blackbirds.
Is that those blackbirds that got the yellow head?
That's exactly what they are.
Oh, man. I wondered what those were.
What's this blackbird out here with the yellow head? says my brother-in-law. And my wife said, well, those are yellow-headed blackbirds.
And he said,
you're an
smart ass. You're an ass. You're an ass.
You're a smart ass.
But she was telling the truth.
He's one of the most religious humans on the planet, and I never thought I'd ever hear him say that.
Well, there are those moments.
You just have to, there's just no words in the English language that work as good as those sometimes.
Oh my word! I don't know if I sent this to you or not, but somebody's come up with a whole line of the family of from all shit right down to the one. I don't know. It explains the whole family line of the shit family. Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen. Starting with the aw shit and his wife, big shit, and then there was right
Oh,
on dip shit and deep shit. And
I saw. Did you send me something about that?
I think I did.
I've seen it recently.
Yeah, that's one of the. Sorry, but that's my kind of humor, I suppose. I thought that was great. Somebody finally explained the whole family tree.
Yeah.
And I apologize, folks, for my language. I can't help it. It comes so natural sometimes. And Brenda, I missed the chat, guys. I'm sorry, I can't see it very well out here. That's one bad thing about. Two things about being out here. One, I've got a small screen, 10-inch or so, 11, and as opposed to my two big screens that I have in my other place. And Tina or Diana says they've got a fence building a nest in their birdhouse. Oh, that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. Hell, you might, like Mark says, you might as well embrace them. And you've got mourning dove.
Finches. We got all kinds of native finches.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Sorry, I wasn't thinking. Yeah, we got a lot. Something else we got here. We've had on our feeders is a lot of purple finches this year already, and which is something we had in Knoxville a fair bit. Man, we had some in here. Oh, I guess last week I saw them on the feeder that were, man, the colors were, the males were just bright purple, or whatever that color is.
Well, you should hang some thistle feeders up. You'll probably have goldfinches by the bazillions out there.
Well, we got one, but we just got it up, and it might be too close to the house. And I thought I saw a goldfinch out here the other day, but I haven't seen bunches of them. And that was something last year. We didn't see goldfinches, but usually in Knoxville, every year we would have, like you said, put the thistle feeders out, and they would just come to that. They'd flock to that thing. There was times when that was probably the most abundant bird in the yard. And but last year I don't know if I saw a one, which always worries me. I don't like it when they just like you and I've discussed, you're not seeing some of the birds either you used to see all the time.
Yeah, but they came back this winter, but not near in numbers like they had been.
Oh, Tina said they've got goldfinches for the first time since they moved there. I like goldfinches. I think they're really pretty. I mean, compared to some of the other sparrows, they're colorful, and like I said, we used to get bunches of them, but not last year,
well,
which was just
American goldfinches and lesser goldfinches, which are really cool.
Yeah, those I haven't seen.
I think they're just a western bird, but
yeah, I think you're right.
But yeah, right now we're pretty. I don't know the black-headed grosbeaks haven't showed back up yet, but
well, how many grosbeak species do you get out there?
Well, we've had rose-breasted grosbeaks and evening grosbeaks and black-headeds. We've never had a blue grosbeak show up here in the yard. And that would be a clean sweep if we got that one.
Yeah.
All of them. But
that'd be cool.
I've seen plenty of them in Wyoming, but not here at the house.
Not here at the house, yeah. We used to, sometimes in Smyrna, where we lived down there by the creek, Stewart's Creek, every once in a while I'd see Rosie finches down along the creek bank on those trees down there, but and every once in a while up closer to the house, but I haven't seen one. I didn't see those in Knoxville. I don't. Maybe once in a while, but it'd be a rare sighting for us to have seen one. What I've got here is your usual run-of-the-mill kind of Tennessee birds right now. We got mockingbirds and, of course, starlings and grackles and crows and kingbirds now I've got identified. In fact, I see one sitting right now on the wire. I think cardinals. We've got a pair of cardinals nesting, I think, on that end of the house in a bush. I've seen them go in and out a couple of times, and of course, if you got a mockingbird in your yard, that's about the only pair you'll have in your yard because they're very territorial, as you know. And I've seen them run. Oh, that's a bluebird, actually. I was seeing. So we got some bluebirds, and next year I'll have a bluebird box or two up on the property. I wanted to get it put up this year, but by the time we did, they were already nesting. So I don't know if one would nest in it. Now they might re-nest in it, but I need to set one up somewhere here close. I actually like to put one on the porch, on the back side of the post, and just try to be real quiet and see if they'd start using it. I mean, we used to have them on right by the trails at Norris. We had a bunch of bluebird boxes down there, and they'd get, they didn't shy. Once they get used to people, they don't really shy away that bad. I like to watch them catch bugs and stuff.
We have mountain bluebirds that nest in the dryer vent.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do they do you? I mean, what do you do about that? Just use the dryer? I mean, do they not mind?
By the time they're showed up, it's like hang it on the line.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Which my wife prefers always anyway.
It's getting a little brighter now. Sun might peek out. Well, there's nothing better than clothes hung on the line as far as smell. I mean, now I'm not very keen on doing it necessarily all the time, but there's nothing that beats that smell. I mean, being outside, airing in the sun and all that.
Well, she loves the smell of those clothes, and my olfaction has always been so poor.
You can't smell. Don't make no difference.
Don't make no difference to me.
Back when we were.
I just don't like my blue jeans to be real stiff.
Yeah, well, that's true. They do get a little stiffer. You have to break them in again every time. Back in the days when we were working so hard to make sure our hunting clothes didn't have any human smells, and we'd hang them outside at night. We'd go out on your back porch. I can remember going out on the back porch of your mom and dad's house and putting on clothes when it was about 10 degrees.
Putting on frozen clothes.
And because we was trying to keep them outside where they wouldn't pick up no man smell, animals don't like man smell.
Yeah,
and per Barney Fife.
No, if I go tiger trapping, I'm taking my tweezers.
And Andy said that, didn't he?
Yeah, because he gave Opie that pair of tweezers to feed Winking and Blinking and Nod, those three birds. They don't like the man smell. It's well known among your animal trappers in Africa. Like if you're going to go to Africa and trap you a tiger, and it's like, well, they don't live in Africa. And Andy said, well, I know next time I go tiger hunting, I'm going to take my tweezers.
I want to tell you something. If you don't think that's funny, if you don't think that kind of humor was funny, I don't know when you were born, because I just still love that stuff. It's the humor, it's so funny. I mean, you can't help it. It's just, It's just great. And now I'm trying. I'm wishing I could turn my screen up just a little bit. Did it? Didn't make everybody go away again, did it? Oh, you know what? Right there's part of the problem. No, get back up there. I bet it's on some kind of auto mode thing. That's a little better. I can see it. I can't read the chat now. It's starting to, and that's probably why it's making it a little bit harder. I got more glare coming off now. Yeah, it's really starting to peak out here. I don't looking down the road here the way it comes. I don't.
Because it looks lighter than it did when we started. So. Well,
it's starting to. I see some thunder boomers starting to climb back that way. I don't know if we're supposed to. I see one that looks like a big bear's head. Hey there, butterfly.
You guys had big old thunderstorms since you've been there?
No, not a real rock the house kind yet. I'm sure we will. I mean, this would be a prime place for that kind of stuff. I can't. There's, of course, it's too hilly and tree that way to look, but I don't know. I'm sure you've seen this anyway, but I can remember standing down at Decker's Airfield, on the river.
Yeah.
You know where Decker's store was and everything. I stood there and watched storms roll up that valley, along the river valley, and you could just see them coming, kind of like you guys out west. I mean, you see them coming for 2 days, but we'd see them rolling up that valley, and you knew about how long it was going to take to, for them to get there and rain on the airport. So if you had your parachute out or something, you need to get it under cover. I was standing out there one day with another fella, and we were standing out between these metal. We had there was 2 or 3 metal T hangers down there there were a couple of small planes in, and I was working on one. I rebuilt or put back together at least what's known as a Piper Pacer. It was actually had nose wheel and 2 mains, and then they took that, changed it, put it back to a tail dragger. But anyway, that's not important. The story is we went out and we're watching one of those big storms come up, and it was a rocker and roller, man. There was lightning way down the valley, way down, way further than you'd think it'd ever be a problem. And we stood there and watched it, and then all of a sudden we had some big old bolts. And I swear, I mean, they were still down the river ways, and both of us were standing there, and all the hair on our bodies just stood straight out. And it was like, oh, did you feel that? And we're getting up, and we left real quick. We loaded up our cars and skedoodled because I didn't want to be in that metal T-hanger when that rolled through there. That's the closest I've been to getting a bite. It was, you could feel it, and you could feel the charge. And it was coming on fast.
Well, we were in a camp at probably 11,000 feet east of Pinedale one time, and here it come rolling in over us, and lightning was snapping all around, and you could smell the brimstone. It was like
yeah,
kind of close, and we're in a camp. I think there was 4 of us. We had a couple tents set up, and we'd been cooking out the fire. And one of those bolts hit somewhere just outside of camp. And one of the guys that was inside a tent come flying through the air like he'd been grenaded or something,
Mm.
And he was all loopy there for a little while, and we're like, you okay? And he's like, I think so. And it didn't hit the tent, but it hit close enough that it caused a deal for him.
I put a hood on here so I could see better. Oops, covered up the lens. Oh, wait, there's a big bird. That's probably just a buzzard. Saw ospreys down here, just down over the hill here yesterday. And at least one of them had a fish in its talons that was probably, no doubt, heading back to the nest, or at least a perch. They should be nesting right now, I think.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they ought to be setting. They're setting eggs up here, so
Yeah. Well, they're bound to be here then. They may have young birds in them by now. Closest I ever got to a real strike was that I saw. I mean, I remember I've been close enough to see something hit the ground, but I stand in my mom and dad's house looking out the picture window in the front of the house, and I just happened to be looking out, and this bolt of lightning literally struck a big oak tree right across the road from the house, which was 30, 40 feet away, probably not much more than that. And that thing hit, and I saw I guess I saw kind of the glow when it hit, and then I saw steam, and that thing exploded, and it scattered bark and tree debris all over the house and the yard and the road. And I mean, and it split that oak tree all the way down the side to the front, almost to the ground. And man, and you could smell burnt oak for days. And and I didn't feel that one. I mean, like I said, I was in the house, but damn, that was close. And that thing just, man, it blew up. It blew that tree up. You know, the lightning hits a tree like that. There's John back.
It boils them.
Yeah, it boils. Yeah, it does. It boils them from the inside out. So the bark has to release. I mean, it has to go somewhere. But I guess there's just enough tension to really let it build up some power. Man, when it goes, it goes. And it's kind of amazing and exciting and frightening all at one time. Because I'd really rather not get boiled from the inside out like that. Just personal. I mean, some folks might enjoy that, but I personally don't think I would. You talk about being up in the mountains on high country. When I was in New Mexico the first time, we were up on top of their version of a Mount Baldy, and it was literally just rock. I mean, we were at 12,000. I think that peak was 12,000 and something feet. And we were up there. It was a side hike we took one day to go to the top of Baldy. And we were up there, and it's just all rock. Big chunks and talus slopes, but it's just all rock. And all of a sudden, one of those western storms started rolling in that can just kind of pop up and you see coming. And we got in a hurry to get down because that lightning likes to bounce around and play amongst those rocks. And we didn't want to be up there when that was happening.
Yeah, you get to see some kind of cool stuff with lightning up in that kind of country.
Yeah. Have you ever seen ball lightning?
As long as you're far, far away, it's okay.
Yeah. Have you ever seen ball lightning?
I never have. I've seen it crawl around on the ground though, like it.
Well, it's kind of the same thing.
A living thing that just spread in all directions and.
I think my mother said she remembered seeing it one time.
Mom saw it somewhere too, right there. Actually, I think she saw it there in Johnson City or somewhere.
That's right, John. It was at Philmont. Yeah, I was thinking it had happened up there now that you say that. It's a pretty rare thing, I guess, anywhere, but it'd have to take just the right circumstances and all the right conditions for something like that, to happen. But nature is an amazing thing.
Well, my uncle was bringing cows home one time. He was on a tractor and pushing cows back toward the barn, and lightning struck and killed a cow like within 10 feet of him.
Oh man!
Killed it graveyard dead, and Randy left the tractor running and got down on the ground and crawled all the way back to the house.
Wow, did he? Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd have stayed on the tractor or not. I might have stayed on the tractor, but
I'd have put that tractor in high gear and got the heck out.
Yeah, me too.
Be quicker than crawling, but
Yeah. I always heard that being in a car was safe because of the rubber tires, but you have to, if you really think about that and know about lightning and what causes it, you start having second thoughts a little bit about that. Although I've never seen it happen, but you know, when lightning hits or when lightning's going on, it's jumping a spark from the cloud area or up, either up or down for those conditions, and it's jumping a long damn way anyway when it comes down towards the ground. So jumping across a patch of rubber about that wide is really not that not that out of not that much of a job for it to do. But I'd still probably rather be inside a car than standing in the field.
Well, I remember there was a program, it's been years ago, that was about lightning and people that had been struck by lightning and survived. And there was some Forest Service employee, I think he was a Forest Service employee, might have been Park Service, right there on the North Carolina side of the divide.
Yeah.
He was working, north of the Smokies. I think he was a Forest Service guy. And he had been struck like 5 different times.
Jeez.
Every time he had been in his vehicle. And,
oh, really?
Yeah. And he had a pocket watch, as I recall, that he carried with him that lightning burned a hole from one side to the other side through that pocket watch.
Did it still work?
No, heck no. No, it destroyed the pocket watch, but it was like that. It was in his daggone pocket when it happened. And I'm like, man, I don't want to be anywhere near that guy during a lightning storm.
No, don't shake hands with him. He'll suck all the luck right out of you. We had airplanes actually get struck by lightning a lot. Probably bigger airplanes, even more than small ones. But we had one of our customers who was out of Alabama. And sorry. Sorry about that, guys. But he had been struck 5 times in his little airplane. And every time it caused some damage, usually the radios, but if you get hit and you can tell where it enters the plane and comes out of the plane because of the way the burn marks are.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. And so you can kind of tell if it ran, across the wing and out. They all have things called static wicks on them that are designed just to shed that kind of thing in the air. Kind of like putting those straps on your car and letting them drag along the road so they can ground your car. That used to be a thing. I don't think anybody does that anymore. But anyway, this guy had been hit 5 times in his airplanes, and he'd brought him to us, and we called him Sparky. And we started to put little lightning bolts on the side, like a score. 5 made him an ace, actually, if you think about it. That made him a lightning strike ace. We should have told him that. I don't know if we remembered that then or not. But anyway, the last time it happened, we looked at it and brought it down, and there's a wee bird, and they were getting ready to look into it and see what, because I think it came through the propeller, and if it went through the propeller tips, because you can kind of see it'll come off the propeller tips and just blow chunks out of the edge of the propeller sometimes, and on prop airplanes. And the guys took it out early one morning. I got to work about 7, and the fire trucks were rolling, and I stuck my head out, and I just missed. I mean, I must have missed it by a couple of minutes. That one of the engines on that plane literally let go. I mean, as in exploded, came apart, and on a turbine, which is spinning, 40,000 RPM, you can scatter some stuff. and it did a lot of damage. It didn't do too much airframe damage, which is lucky. I had to. I mean, it usually burns some sheet metal and stuff, but what had happened was that lightning had struck across inside that engine, had bounced around some gaps in there, and had burned through a bearing or a seal, what they call a seal. And it's kind of like a metal. It's like metal kind of grooved in the hot part of the engine, so that it seals it up, but it won't. Rubber gaskets and things won't hold. And it had messed one of those up, and it let go. If it'd been flying, it would have been a bad story. But man, that thing went everywhere on our runway and ramp. We picked up parts of that thing for weeks. I wonder if our parents told us the safest place was the car. Oh, if they might have, Kay, and they might have believed it. And like I said, you don't hear about it very often. But now I have heard of. I'm trying to think if I know a guy. I have heard of guys on motorcycles getting hit, which is usually not a good thing. Thank you, guys. Yeah, don't forget to hit that like button. I know everybody's out of practice. We ain't been here in a while, so hit that like button. And if you hadn't already, subscribe to the show. And hopefully next week, I could be back out here on the porch, but I'm actually hoping to do a show from the inside of the schoolhouse or library. And Diane says she's going to sneak out. Battery's almost dead. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you, Diana. You have a great day too. And give Walter and the coconut and I can't remember the other guy's name or her name, whichever. Ellie Mae. Give them all a hug for us. What time is it anyway? Almost 2 hours. We'll probably go here in a minute, or a few next 8 or 10 or something. But anyway, hopefully next week I'll be back out. I'll have it set up at least and try to do something out there. Maybe by then it won't look like a storage container for the U-Haul place. Right now I've got boxes of my books sitting everywhere. I bought several new bookcases. Because Tina, as you saw and commented on before, I had lots of bookshelves before that were filled up, so now I'm having to replace those bookshelves with different kinds. Oh, Mark, and you wouldn't be privy to this because you're not on Instagram, but Tina set up a new chat page on Instagram called Tim's Overdue Books. And of course, several of my good friends here joined right away. And I think isn't that it, Tina? Tim's Overdue Books. Have a great day, everyone. I have to take the moose for a walk. He's tearing up the backyard. All right, Mike. You take care, and next week don't eat the donut. Get 2 dozen donuts next week. That way you can eat one, and we'll all have a chance to get one. We haven't found a donut place here at all yet. Nearest thing to here, it's got has my good donuts that I like, is a place called Weigel's, and they're a little store that's kind of a local thing. They started out as Weigel's Dairies, and they still do. They still do milk, and they just had a couple of small stores around Knoxville area where they really sold their milk, was their whole goal in life. And now they're a big chain around here, and they've got really nice stores for convenience stores. They sell gas and they still sell their milk. And they've got probably the best eggnog in town. The best eggnog I found to buy anyway. Oh, me. So I don't know. Has anybody else got any big plans for the day? We know Mike's going to take the moose for a walk. Speaking of moose, you've had a couple, haven't you, Mark? 2 or 3 you said you've seen this year already?
Yeah, I mean, I got moose across the river.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
They've come to the yard lately, which is cool. But we've had plenty of them on the south side of the river.
Oh, I know what I was going to tell you a while ago. I know some people in here won't agree. Brenda found this on Facebook. She found a snake identification group, a Tennessee snake identification group. And there's some pretty good people on there that can really identify a lot of snakes, and people write in all the time and have questions, and they show pictures of copperheads and cottonmouths and great big giant other poisonous I said copperheads, that it ain't. And but to me, the encouraging thing I've seen this year, to me, is quite a few decent sized rattlesnakes and copperheads. Now, I know that sounds like a weird thing to say.
You sent me some of those photos. And
some of those guys are nice and fat, aren't they?
Some of those copperheads are boomers.
Yeah, they are. And that's what's crazy about that. I know you and I've talked about this before, but I spent 20 years tramping around the woods, 25, well, plus our lifetimes. But the last 20 or 23 years or so before I retired, I was always out in the woods and the mountains and in places where I always thought there should have been copperheads and rattlesnakes, timber rattlers, and I never saw one, not one. And all that time, the only snake I had, that's a lie. A guy with a backhoe or bush hog did chop up a copperhead one day out in the field. But I don't count that one because I didn't see him alive and I didn't let him go and I didn't get to, brag about him. But and he wasn't very big, but it was a copperhead. But that's the only copperhead I ever saw the whole time I was up there. Now, I'm sure there were some out there, but I considered that there must be too few that, I wasn't seeing them because I was out there physically looking for them. And the only thing I ever picked up on our land was one garter snake one day. Came sliding up through the leaves in the woods and said, "Hi." And I said, "Howdy." But I used to carry a snake stick with me just about all the time, just for that purpose, for rock flipping and log pulling and, that sort of thing. And I, in one particular area, everybody I met that lived or worked in this one mountain area always warned me about, oh my God, there's that place is so full of copperheads. I know a guy that says his brother saw 12 yesterday, great big mountain rattlesnakes, and I never saw one. So I was actually beginning to worry that had killed so many off that they were really suffering. Well, they seem to be doing okay this year.
I have a buddy that he worked for Fish and Wildlife Service out here forever, and his wife is from northern Alabama, and they just bought a place in Tennessee, kind of central Tennessee, part of the state I'd never spent any time in. And he rolled over a piece of tin the other day, and there was a whole grundle of them underneath that tin.
Rattlesnakes or copperheads?
Copperheads.
Well, it can happen.
They've been kind of cleaning up. They bought a place that's got a little cabin on it. They've been kind of cleaning it up, and for a winter home, they can hang out up here in Lander, Wyoming 9 months out of the year, and then go to Tennessee for 3 and
miss most of the winter.
Close to her sisters and things, and so they they bought this little cabin place, and it looks like a nice little place, but it's got a bunch of old farm tin and stuff laying around, which
makes really good habitat.
which places do, and he said they rolled over one piece of tin and there was like 18 skinks underneath of it.
That'd be cool.
and they come charging out of there like the light brigade when they flipped the tin over, and two of them run up her britches leg.
Oh, really? I've never had that happen.
Which didn't make Mama happy, I guess. So.
Oh, I bet she's trying to get out of them pants. Is what I bet. We've got some out here, and we've seen a few, blue tails that which are just young broadheads, aren't they, or 6 line, 5 lines? I can't remember, but anyway,
one or the other.
Yeah, I've seen
both of them. The juveniles have blue tails.
Yeah, and so we've seen a few of those, but I haven't seen a big one in a while. We had a cat bring one in once, a long time ago. I don't remember where we lived. I don't think it was while we were in the Nashville area. Anyway, we had a cat or somebody else. No, somebody brought it to me. That's what it was. And their cat had drug it in and dropped it on the front porch. And man, it was a big old broad-headed skink. It was not big by some skink standards, mind you, but the biggest one I'd ever seen in Tennessee. And of course, the cat had put puncture marks through its skull, and it was no longer among the living. But that's when cats, aggravate me. But cats do bring in rewards for their for their caregivers if they get a chance.
I just read something the other day. 28 million songbirds a year. 28 million songbirds a year.
That's why you need to keep your cats indoors, guys.
It's not counting mammals.
Yeah. But some of that's more natural. I mean, some of it, not all of it, but some of it. But the cats, I mean, that's when cats, you got to realize just how many and it doesn't matter how well fed they are. I've had people argue that with me. They go out and feed these cat colonies where people have been throwing out cats in the woods, and they form a colony. And you might have dozens, if not 100 cats in one clamor or whatever they call a group of cats. And they'll go out and feed them, and they say, as long as we keep them fed, they won't hurt the wildlife. But that's just not true. I mean, they kill for fun because they like to catch things that are moving and running around, and it's not a bloodlust thing, I don't think. Maybe a little bit, but I mean, they just do. And that I know a guy that's got a cat that's out once in a while, and almost every time it goes out, he brings something back to the doorstep. I mean, that's just how they are. And I'm not hating on cats. You guys know I love my cats. I just keep mine inside, and that's why. Now, barn cats sometimes were pretty good because they keep a lot of mice and stuff out of your grain and your barn. But I just soon have a rat snake myself, or two. But that's not so bad because they do they give them something else to catch and munch on that you don't want in there anyway. But man, they kill a lot of birds just to be doing it.
Somebody dumped one out over here by the railroad tracks. A female at some point here, not that long ago, last year, and she had 11 kittens.
Oh my God!
And they all wander around like a pride of little lions out there now.
Yeah.
On the east side of our property, and I mean they're hard on rabbits and birds and. Anyway,
that's when I have to.
I don't know why people dump them like that.
I don't either. They don't want them, and they're too irresponsible.
Maybe they came from the little community over here. I don't know, but I think somebody just brought it out and like, oh, there's a good spot to dump this cat.
Yeah, because they probably noticed she was getting bigger and pregnant. And decided they didn't want to fool with it. That's what usually happens.
She's been fine. She's been eating something. She's been eating well, and the kittens are all.
Well, think about how many voles and mice you guys got around. I mean, just around your house.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see how one would probably stay pretty well fed out there if they were truly, got feral and started eating what they killed. Which
Yeah,
they
these are
will.
obviously eating what they killed because there ain't nobody feeding them. We're
Yeah.
not. We're not feeding them, and they're. I don't know if somebody brings them a bag of cat food and throws it out at that old railroader house, but they seem to
Brenda,
be doing very well.
Brenda just said she saw a big yellow cat up in the woods behind the house this morning. That might be our neighbors up the hill. I think he said they had a cat that came out once in a while. I bet that's theirs.
Skulking about.
Skulking about looking for something little to kill. I'd hate for that to get shot in the night or something happen to it.
What? So you set up the hill. That are they laterally same height
Yeah.
you guys are?
No, they're a little bit higher than we are on the hill. They've got a more big yard up there, but they're uh, northwest, west of us a little bit, but they're up the hill higher than we are. So, they are up behind us. They own a bigger patch of land here. Just about everybody right here in this holler around us is all one big family. I told Brenda, I said, well, hell, we're right in the middle of a compound. I mean, it's not surrounded by fences or anything, but now about everybody here either is or was related. Grandma used to live in that house, and my Aunt Sally used to live down there, but they sold it, so somebody else lives there now. But almost all these houses are related right here in this particular corner, except us. But, you got to move it out of the holler, people. You got to keep, six. That's how 6 fingers and toes show up sometimes. You got to make sure.
They had a red fox show up at their back porch yesterday.
Who? Oh, Kay did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. Did you have food out there of some sort, Kay? Dog food or cat food, or maybe just doing wily things that fox do?
Wandering red fox.
Oh, nice. I got one of the. I'm watching him. I got a mockingbird over there wearing out a robin who got too close to that might be another nest over there. And he was just running that robin up the road there, up the yard. Tenacious little bastards they are. Oh, he's after another bird now, another robin. He ran him up in the yard, ran him up the field, the fence line. All right, guys, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna shut this down. Hopefully, we'll have a show next week, though. I hope everything is closer to being all right with the world again next week. Things will be settled a little bit more, and but I'll come out here and do some shows too on the porch. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to put blinders on me. So, if I just did that, I see better now. Gotta get me a hat on. Maybe that would have done it the whole time. I could just had a hat.
Yeah, that's what brims are for.
That's right. Here I am not using. That's why they're not supposed to be worn backwards or sideways. Not to keep the sun out off the back of your neck. You want that? You need a cowboy hat or something.
Well, and out here they talk about if you got a brim like mine on this ball cap.
Yeah.
Where it's shaped, it's not stupid flat. Like
I know.
Kids wear nowadays. They can't get in their mailbox and look for their CRP check if they. Most people don't know CRP, but it's a farmer program that pays you to keep some of your land fallow.
Yeah, fallow. They can't get in their mailbox.
Prevent dust bowls and whatnot.
And have habitat for grouse.
But
Prairie,
and then you can
prairie
stick
animal.
your head right in your mailbox if you got a hat like this. You can.
That's pretty good. That's a good
Most
joke there.
people I don't have mailboxes anymore either. So
Yeah, that's kind of true. We got one, and it's across the road, which this road's got kind of steep. We're right in this curve, and it looks like a bank turn NASCAR almost. It's sloped down, and our mailbox is actually on the other side. And I'll be damned if Brenda didn't go there and fall down the other day and bang herself up again. She slid on the hill. She slid on the bank. There's just a little bit of a drop, and she slipped and banged herself up. She's beat herself to death in this move. She's fell, I don't know how many times. She's broke 2 toes. I think she's broke 2 toes now. Of course, she didn't go anywhere, but they sure are black and blue and purple. And has scraped both knees up.
her ribs or whatever when she fell in that Connex box.
Yeah, that's another problem. And she bruised herself up bad in that one. And I thought she cut herself bad too, because she had a piece of glass in her hand. We were getting ready to throw away, and she had taped the edges of it up so it wouldn't cut anybody or cut through a trash bag. I don't know what she was thinking. But anyway, she'd been messing with that, and she turned back around to come up in the trailer or the container and tripped on the edge of the board I had down for a ramp. And man, she hit hard. And she had that piece of glass in her hand. So when she hit the trailer, of course, her hands went like you do to catch yourself. And that piece of glass just shattered. And I was amazed she wasn't cut to pieces. I don't think she had any cuts, but boy, she sure banged the rest of her body up. And she's fallen here twice now, I think. All doing the same thing, trying to bring a box in or, slide down the bank to the mailbox. I need one of them mailboxes on a pulley so I can just run it up to the house when it's full. One of those airmail deals. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming out today. I am sure glad to see you guys. It's been too long, and I never thought it would be this long. But we're back, and Mark will be around at least till he goes off to Africa, hopefully, and then we'll have some true tall tales and adventures to talk about. And when he's gone, we'll just make up funny stories about him. I'll tell her that, Tina. I don't know if she's watching right now or not. I think she went in there to make herself some scrambled eggs. Yeah, that's a good idea, Kay. I should wrap her up in bubble wrap. I think I threatened to do that the other day.
You need one of them big balls they put on you for the bullfighting. Have you seen that? Have you seen that?
Yes, I've seen them. That's what she needs. She needs to walk around in one of those, and then she'd just bounce back up, All right, guys. Again, thanks for coming out. I missed you guys. I'm glad to be back. So we'll see you again next week. Hopefully. Talk to you sometime, Mark. Hopefully this week. All right, buddy. You take care. Bye, everybody.